Well, there's the giant Amico sign. We're doing a tour of the Wydown Skinker neighborhood. It's one of 79 neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis. We're 8 miles west of the Gateway Arch. Washington University is just down the street, and Forest Park, the jewel of St. Louis, is to our right. It's over 1,300 acres. This is Skinker Boulevard, named after Thomas Skinker. He was born in St. Louis in 1845. He was a lawyer and got his bachelor's degree from Washington University. Here's the Dorchester Apartments. Cardinals great Lou Brock lived here in the 90s. Much beloved, he's one of our all-time greats. He has a star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame. Get out of that Cubs jersey and get into that one you belong in. This is Forest Park Golf Course, designed by Hale Irwin. He also has a star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame. Other aspects of Forest Park are the Musicians Memorial and Fountain, built in 1925, and it honors 2 members of our great St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. This fountain was restored in the 1980s by KMOX Radio in honor of Jack Carney. His son John Carney is still on the radio. Forest Park has the History Museum. They have a 250-year birthday cake. The Boathouse.
Head east on Lagoon Drive.
And you can boat past Art Hill and the Art Museum. And we have the Dwight Davis Tennis Center. He was a St. Louisan with a star on the Walk of Fame. And they have pickleball. We have the St. Louis Zoo.
That one is big.
He's looking right at you. Okay, we got our picture. Let's get one. Come on.
Be the white guy?
He's like,
Marlon Perkins was a zoo director and one of our stars. And the Muny. Our own Betty Grable performed there. And our own Vincent Price. And so many stars like Bob Hope, Tony Randall, Jerry Orbach, Walter Cronkite, John Travolta, Sarah Jessica Parker, James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader. The Emerson Central Fields host the Balloon Glow. And the Science Center. The planetarium was designed by Gio Obata. He went to Wash U. The Jewel Box has banquets. And there's brand new basketball courts. They're awesome! That's the Round Lake Fountain. The Highlands at Forest Park has a driving range and golf course.
This worked out real well. I was like looking at the...
Judy Rankin played here. She's a two-time LPGA Player of the Year. And they also have clay tennis courts.
Teaching me.
Yeah, it's like we're in France, huh?
It is.
Our native Jimmy Connors played here. Okay, let's continue on. This is Wydown and Skinker, which is the name of this neighborhood. And right here in this area was the World's Fair Ferris wheel, where it was. They may have gone across where this street is now. Many think part of the axle is buried underground here. You can see it behind this streetcar. Those ran from where the Amico sign is, where we started this tour, and dropped people off at the Lindell Pavilion, which is now the Forest Park Visitor Center. It caught fire in the 1920s, which is why the top of the tower is missing now. This is basically the path we just traveled right here. David Francis was the president of the World's Fair. He's the only person who was the mayor of St. Louis and then the governor of Missouri. The Cascades presently in Forest Park are an homage to the World's Fair Cascades. Scott Joplin, the king of ragtime who attended the fair, composed the rag Cascades for the World's Fair, and it was played there. The Palace of Mines and Metallurgy was designed by Theodore Link, who also designed Union Station. Other notable attendees were former President Grover Cleveland, future President William Taft, St. Louis native and poet T.S. Eliot, author and activist Helen Keller, Thomas Edison, Jack Daniel. Our great author Kate Chopin tragically died after a day at the fair. Alice Roosevelt, and her dad, the current president, Theodore Roosevelt, and his wife, Edith. Ice cream cones and cotton candy came about, and the fair helped popularize iced tea, Dr. Pepper, Jell-O, hot dogs, hamburgers, and peanut butter. The Missouri History Museum in Forest Park has a renovated World's Fair section. You see, that's where the wheel was on Skinker, and we're walking towards Brookings Hall at Wash U, which is right here. It was an administrative building for the World's Fair. Right there is Art Hill with the Grand Basin at the bottom, and right after the fair, the famous tradition of snow sledding started. Then in the 1940s, Sally Benson wrote Meet Me in St. Louis, which became a movie. Okay, we're continuing on. The other major influence on this neighborhood is Washington University. And here's the iconic Brookings Hall that we saw in the model at the History Museum. The 1904 Summer Olympics coincided with the World's Fair. St. Louis is one of only 3 cities in the U.S. to host Summer Olympics, along with Atlanta and Los Angeles twice. It featured the first 2 African American competitors and medalists, which were in hurdles and high jump. One of them taught at Sumner High School after. Water polo was played in a pond in Forest Park. And since 1992, WashU has hosted 4 presidential debates and 1 vice presidential debate, more than any other institution. This building is where the aeronautic concourse started in 1904, and it went all the way back to the field house. This university is named after George Washington. Well, this was a heck of a fun one today. Hope you had fun, and thanks for watching.